What's up, everyone? This is our second video. We're gonna do a little game recap on last night's game against the Celtics. 119-117 loss. Tough way to lose, but I think they played hard. First time being healthy against Boston. You could tell the Knicks had a little extra juice last night. You could say Boston didn't have the juice, but I think they wanted to win last night. Tatum played 48 minutes. Um, a lot of things went on last night that we can go over. I think the first thing we need to talk about is the Tatum three that tied it. There's a lot of people blaming Tibbs for not saying foul, 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 and I think a lot of that you could put on the players though too. Same thing that happened last year against the Sixers in Game Five when Maxey hit a basically half court three to tie the game. Um, Tibbs was out on the court screaming at Deuce to foul, and he didn't. And that's on the players. I think last night's on OG. And OG played a hell of a game defensively. And I think he would even admit, I think he did admit actually after the fact that he should have fouled. Um, I think OG got caught a little bit on his heels. Tatum brought the ball up fast. I think OG thought he was going to try to go for the quick two. And when Tatum went to step back. I think OG slipped a little bit, couldn't get to him. And at that point, you're not fouling because then it's three shots. Um, give Tatum credit. He had a step back three, and he hit clutch shots all fourth quarter. Hand in his face didn't matter. He hit it. I think the biggest issue with that play last night was it was disorganized by the Knicks defensively. And I think that that was a big problem all night. They made a lot of mistakes in just simple switches. They missed simple switches that could have literally affected the game, but too many times Towns got caught, Hart got caught a lot. It just if they just made the switch a little crisper, Celtics probably don't get off a three. Um, I think defensively, for the most part, they played a good game, but just little mistakes, and it seems to be right now Hart and Towns that are making the most mistakes defensively. Too many times Josh Hart gets caught either napping or he sags off too much into the paint and he can't get out to the three and gives up three every time. And against the Celtics, you cannot fall asleep. They have too many shooters and too many guys that will make the pass, the correct read, and give you give you they will take that open three all day. Um, I think with Hart, he anticipates the shot too early and tries to get in position for the rebound. Josh Hart plays the game at 100% full tilt, but defensively, he makes too many mistakes. And against great teams, that's going to kill you. Too many times on switches, he was late to switch. And then other times he switched and the other guy didn't switch. And the Celtics got an open three out of it. You cannot do that. You just can't. And I think Hart needs to play a little more disciplined defensively. If that means not getting the rebound, you don't get the rebound. It's fine. Let Towns go get the rebound. Let OG go get the rebound. Let Bridges go get the rebound. You gotta stick to the three. You have to. Because the Celtics go on runs. We saw it to start the third quarter. They go on runs, and normally that's how they blow teams out. Because they just make three after three after three after three. And good on the Knicks, though. They fought back. They settled in. They fought back. They got the lead in the fourth. But then, again, mental mistakes. You can't have mental mistakes. Towns fouling Tatum on a step back three. Let him take that shot, man. He's falling away in the corner. There's no reason to put your hand up. Put your hand up. You're 7 feet tall, but just put your hand up. Don't let him get off the shot. But instead, you reach in and you hit him on the arm. You can't do it. Now, Tatum made 2 out of 3 free throws, so you were up one anyway, but still, you can't do it. You have to be better than that. I think the execution in the final 5 minutes offensively was absolutely fantastic. It was absolutely maybe the best 5 minutes they've played. Um, Brunson was bringing, I believe it was Bridges, up for the pick and roll. And this is when they had Cornette in the game at the 4. And they were doubling Brunson, and Bridges was wide open, just sitting mid range. And they were executing and killing the Celtics on that play over and over again. It was great offense. But then in overtime, they revert back to standing around watching Brunson play one on one. You can't do it. You can't. This team is too good to play one on one. Just move the ball and you get whatever you want. Towns was getting whatever he wanted all game long. I think they went away from that a little bit. I think Boston adjusted a little bit. I think problem going forward is teams putting their center on Hart, good teams who are disciplined defensive teams, putting their center on Hart and Hart not taking that three. He's got to take the three. Just take it. You did it against the Sixers and killed them. Just take the three. If you miss, you miss. They have a small on Towns in the paint. Towns is going to get those rebounds. Just shoot the three, man. Shoot it. It's all right. Nobody's going to kill you if you miss a shot. I think for the most part, though, you can come out of that game feeling positive. First game that the Knicks have been whole, and they played the Celtics tough, and they played hard. I think I do think that Deuce and Mitch's minutes will be in the 25 to 30 range in the playoffs. I think right now Tibbs is pacing them. And that's crazy to say because, Tibbs minutes. Oh, no, he plays everybody. I think he's pacing Mitch because Mitch didn't play in that fourth quarter, and Mitch was playing fantastic in that third quarter. Um, I think they're pacing Mitch. They definitely are. I think Deuce is definitely on a minutes restriction with the groin. But he might get big minutes tomorrow night. It looks like they're resting some guys. OG, Hart, and Mitch are resting. So, and who knows how many minutes Brunson's going to play, Towns is going to play. So maybe Deuce will up the minutes tomorrow. Um, but for last night, I think you can come out of it positive. I know people are going to hate on Tibbs more and more. I don't think Tibbs is a great coach. Let's put it that. Tibbs is a great coach, but I don't know yet if I fully trust him to be the guy to bring this team to a championship. I think now, can he? Absolutely. He's still a great coach. I just think there's going to be a ceiling at some point where the Leon Rose is going to have to make a decision. Um, I think I think there's too many times in big games where his stubbornness costs the Knicks. You can't cost him. You can't do it. And as a coach with this much talent, yes, you trust your players, but at the same time, you got to do better. I mean, at the end of the game on that last play, he drew up a good play actually. Towns was wide open. Towns broke open if Bridges throws it. I think Bridges hesitated for a second and Porzingis got back into the play, but Towns was open. If he gets Towns the ball, Towns has a layup. But I mean, Hart got a wide open look. I would have rather had Deuce in the game at that point. I think Deuce should have been in that game, and that's part of the coaching with Tibbs. He falls in love with these players. And I love Hart. Josh Hart is a fantastic player. He is the heart and soul of this team. When he is playing hard, the entire team plays hard. There's energy everywhere. You got the team follows him. But there's times where Hart cannot be in the game. And in that situation, Josh Hart can't be in the game. Sorry, he can't. If Deuce is in that game, maybe you get Brunson open because the Celtics can't freely let Josh Hart run. You know, um, I think too many times Tibbs on those situations leaves Hart in the game, and it's just, why? There's 2 seconds left. There's 2 seconds left. You need an offensive player. Deuce can hit the three. Give Deuce the shot. Um, but again, it's some of the things that you can blame Tibbs for. I think this playoffs is a very big, big, big time for Tibbs. I don't think they're not going to lose first round. They're not. But if they ever did, you could have that discussion. I don't think they will. I think they'll give him another year. They'll give him another transaction cycle. But you're going to have to talk about it. I think Leon Rose is going to have to make a decision sooner rather than later. Now, hopefully, Tibbs proves us all wrong and they win a championship. Um, but this is going to be the next big decision for Leon Rose. And I know they're close, but Leon Rose cannot let his personal feelings affect the decision on Tom Thibodeau. I am very thankful for what Tibbs has done for this organization and for this team. He's been a godsend at the coaching. But at the same time, there's some coaches available. And if that coach in Miami ever became available, I'm sorry, Leon, you got to break the bank and go get him because he's the best coach in the game. So maybe not the night to blame Tibbs, but at the same time, there's little things that you can blame him for. And I thought that lineup to start the fourth quarter was a little weird. That's why I think they're pacing Mitch. And you could tell like he was pacing Brunson a little bit too. Um, because usually he leaves one of Brunson or Towns in the game to close the third and to start the fourth. And he took them both off the court, and I thought that was interesting. Um, it didn't kill them last night. It hurt them a little bit the night before, but it didn't hurt them last night because I thought Payne actually gave them some good minutes. But that lineup's not going to work in the playoffs. Um, it's clear that Precious is out of the rotation, um, which is good, I think, because I don't think Precious fits at the four, and that he's not going to play the five with Mitch back. So, and in the offense with Towns, he's the four, and he's sitting in the corner. That just doesn't help. But um, I think another thing you could take away from last night is Boston just has so many options. It, OG did a good job on Tatum. He really did. And Porzingis killed them. Now, people say, well, they should have taken out Porzingis. Well, you overload to Porzingis' three, and then Derek White starts hitting threes. So Boston is just a beast right now. They remind me of the Warriors a few years ago, where everybody can shoot the three, and they're not going to have a bad shooting night 4 times in a series. They're just not. You're going to have to outscore them. You're going to. You're not going to shut them down for 4 games. It's not going to happen. You're going to have a game or two where they're off from three and you can beat them. Last night they didn't go crazy from three. Porzingis did, but I mean Tatum hit what 2 or 3 threes. Derek White didn't really hit much. He hit a couple. Holiday hit a couple, but other than that, Jalen Brown did nothing. So you could beat them in games like that. And last night the Knicks should have beat them. The Knicks were up three with 12 seconds left. They should have beat them. That's a game that the Knicks have to win. And in the playoffs, you can't blow games like that. You can't against a team like Boston. You got them on the ropes. You beat them. You have to. Against Detroit, yeah, you lose a game like that, you're still going to win the series. You're going to, unless it's Game 7. But against Boston, I don't want to say you got to be perfect, but you got to be 95%. You can't make mental mistakes. You can't leave Hauser wide open on an inbound play. You just can't do it. It's little things like that. that frustrates you with this team sometimes because they have the talent. You see it offensively. They could be a juggernaut offensively and even defensively. They're playing good defense. Since Mitch has come back, they're like top three in defensive rating. But they make little mistakes that just hurt you in the end. Against these good teams, against Boston, Cleveland, OKC, you can't do it. And that's why the Knicks are 0-9 against those teams. Because they make little mistakes. If you don't make those little mistakes, you win those games. Now, maybe if they were healthy and they had Mitch all year, maybe they're 2-7, 3-6. But again, there's too many mistakes. Too many. Towns cannot be sitting at the free throw line while Porzingis is standing behind the 3-point line. You can't do it. I'm sorry, you can't. You're not protecting the paint against Boston. You're protecting the three. That's all you have to do. If you're going to sit in the paint or sit at the free throw line while Porzingis is sitting at the 3-point line, you're going to lose. You're going to lose the game. And they lost last night because of that. You cannot, even if he's 35 feet away, you cannot be at the free throw line. They're bringing you in pick and roll with Porzingis. You're up. You have to be up. And then if you switch it, you switch it. Fine, switch it. Make Tatum shoot over you. But there's no reason why Porzingis should have that much airspace. He's not driving to the hoop. Every time he drove to the hoop, he did nothing. He lost the ball. Every time. Why are you playing at the free throw line? It makes no sense. And then other times, Tatum hits a pull up three right in your face. Why are you at the free throw line? And I know Tibbs not happy because you could see him throwing his hands up. You could see him frustrated. Why? What are you doing? It just makes no sense. Oh, hi, Bailey. Oh, hi. Say hi. Say hi. Okay, now. Like, why? I mean, you can. It's a frustrating part with Towns because he had such a great game offensively. He made the Celtics think about their defensive game plan, and they're going to think about it when if they play in the second round. They're going to think about it. They're going to think about, hey, can we actually put a small on Towns because Towns could kill us. They're going to have to think about that now. But defensively, they know they can attack him, and no matter how good of a one-on-one defender OG is, he's only as good as the guy behind him who's going to come up on that pick and roll. You cannot, you cannot play at the free throw line against the Celtics. You can't. If you get beat, you get beat. Give them the layup. Fine. The Celtics want to shoot the three. That's all they want to do. They want to shoot it 55 times. You cannot be at the free throw line against the Celtics. Against the Cavs, maybe you can be at the free throw line because they got Mobley and Allen. But against the Celtics, no, not when they're playing five out like that. You can't do it. You can't. As simple as that. So some positive takeaway from last night. They played hard. I think Brunson for much of that game, you could see he could get whatever he wanted. I think there was a couple times where he went a little too ISO, especially in the overtime, but he could get whatever he wanted. Same with Towns. Towns could get whatever he wanted. That's a big positive going into a playoff series. That's going to be a slow down, drag out game where you need your stars to go get buckets. I thought OG expended a lot of his energy defensively. I don't think, not that he didn't have the legs or anything like that offensively, but you could tell like he was like, all right, this is a defensive game. I got to put all my energy into defense. He did some good things, obviously, offensively. There was a few things. I mean, that offensive rebound in the fourth quarter went back up. Should have been an and one. Was huge. Obviously, it took the lead. Um, and his rebounding has been a lot better, along with his scoring since Brunson was out. But you could tell last night his concentration was all right. I'm going to defend Tatum. I'm going to let these guys go offensively. I'll be the fourth or fifth option. We touched on Hart already. He's got to shoot the three. They're going to put a big on you, sink in the paint. You got to shoot the three. That's simple as that. Or run a bunch of dribble handoffs with Brunson or Bridges or Towns and be that pick because that big is so far in the paint, they're going to get wide open looks. That's a big thing. So we could do that's something he needs to do. And with Josh Hart, he's going to work. He's going to bring his shooting coach in for that week before the playoffs. And he's probably going to come back out and shoot the three, but he's got to do it. It's got to. I think Bridges was, I don't want to say awful, but he was quiet for three quarters. He was quiet. And in those type of games, he can't be quiet. We need you. We need you to score. Can't be all Brunson and Towns. OG took a step back because defensively he was putting out a lot of energy. But Bridges cannot be quiet for three quarters. Fourth quarter, he stepped up. He started hitting some shots. They were leaving him open in the mid range, and he was hitting some shots. And I thought, you can get frustrated with the defense with Tatum hitting those shots, but in reality, Bridges played good defense on that. Now, if this was last night and I did this video, I probably would have been screaming and yelling, "Come on, Bridges, you got to play better defense." But those were tough shots. Those were really tough shots. Um, Towns, we covered. Defensively, he's got to be better. He's got to be. And I thought actually he had great possession. The possession before the foul on Tatum, he had a great possession. A great possession. He stayed with Derek White. I think they forced a 24-second violation. White tried to drive on him. No, didn't give it up. Tatum played great defense. Towns played great defense. So when it comes to Mitch is a beast. He's such a difference maker defensively. And against the Celtics, he's going to get offensive rebounds because KP don't want to box out. KP does not want to bang down low. He don't. Now Horford might a little bit. If he was playing, he probably bang a little bit. Porzingis don't. And I thought that possession with Tatum, when Mitch clapped his hand and said, "Let's go," that got the team going. And then they went on that run, and then he took the lead. He spurred that. That possession. That's why everybody wanted Mitch back. He's got to be healthy, but that possession gets you going. I thought Juice played a good game. Not a lot of minutes, but he shut down Pritchard, who killed them I believe it was either the last game or the game before, where he had like 30 points off the bench. Pritchard's a big player for them, and Juice has got to match that. And I think last night he did. He played well. I think Payne gave them some good minutes. I don't think Shamit's going to be in the playoff rotation. I think his defense is a liability a little bit. He plays hard. I give him that. He plays hard defensively, but and when his shot's not falling, he's useless. He's useless on the court for them. So I could see, I think the starters are going to be playing 35, 40 minutes a night anyway. So, and I could see Deuce and Mitch playing between 25 and 30. That leaves like 10 minutes, probably for Payne, to give Brunson a quick blow. But, and as for Boston, I think a big takeaway from last night, and Boston keeps downplaying it. Jaylen Brown's not healthy. He's not. He had no lift. He couldn't go. He couldn't go lateral. Every time he tried to drive, he couldn't. He stopped and tried to force up a shot. He just does not have it. And defensively, he got killed. He got killed by Towns. And the past three meetings, Brown played him good. Brown's hurt, and watch him in that first round series because he can't move right now. And he has said he's going to play with pain. So if he's at 65, 70% with that knee, That's big. That's a big thing. That's a big thing because that's 25 points a game, and a guy who can go for 40, 45 real quick. So if he's hurt, it may force Boston to go two bigs. And guess what? That brings Mitch into the game. Boston going to go two bigs. We got two bigs that are better. So that could be big. Keep an eye on that. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Brown sits the final three games or whatever they have left. But that's going to be big. I think I covered pretty much everything. Um, like I said, I think the Knicks played hard. I think we could take some positives at it. Would have been nice to get the win because that would have been a fun win. It would have been a fun win. Um, I don't think the game Friday against Cleveland's going to mean anything. I don't. I think the Knicks are resting OG, Hart, and Mitch tomorrow night. I could see Brunson and Towns sitting Friday night. I could actually see all the starters sitting except for maybe Bridges, who wants to play because he doesn't want to lose the streak. But not saying he's only worried about the streak, but I could see them being like, hey, you could play like 15, 20 minutes and then sit. But I don't think Cleveland's going to play anybody in that game either. No need to. I mean, if they do, maybe the Knicks play their starters just to, for the first half, just to see, maybe. But really, there's no need to. And I don't think the Knicks are ducking anybody or anything like that. I don't think they're trying to get, you know, Milwaukee. I don't think they're ducking Detroit. I mean, if they were going to go for the fourth seed, they could have done it easily with Brunson sitting. They could have. They could have easily. Now, if they got the fourth seed and Pacers win out and the Knicks lose out, who cares? Who cares? Knicks have home court advantage in the first round, and then you get Cleveland. Okay, cool. Not saying they're going to beat Cleveland, but I'd rather Cleveland than Boston any day of the week. Any day of the week. But I think Boston's just a juggernaut. They're just a juggernaut with the 3 point. And as long as Porzingis is healthy, it's gonna be that's gonna give the Knicks the biggest trouble. Is that pick and pop? That's it. So that's the recap for last night. I think I covered pretty much everything. Um, I don't know if I'll do a recap on tomorrow. We'll see how the game goes. If it's really just you know Payne playing 48 minutes or Precious playing 48 minutes, game's really not going to be much. I'm definitely going to do a video on the minutes. I think we should, you know, talk about it going into the playoffs. We could talk about the playoff rotation a little bit too. Um, I think I don't think minutes were an issue last night. I mean, some people might be like, "Oh, they should have played the bench more." Not in a game like that. I mean, Tatum played 48 minutes. That tells you all you need to know. And that's a team that limits their starters' minutes as much as they can, unless it's a big game. And Tatum played 48. That tells you. Um, and Brown playing 22 minutes should tell you a lot about how that knee is feeling. Because if Brown's healthy, he's playing 48 minutes alongside Tatum. So, a lot of things to clean up still for the Knicks. I mean, 3 games left. That's scary to say, but I think at the same time, they're not big things. They're little things, little communication stuff. I think, but that's what Boston does to you. They force you to try to play perfect. And you can't fall into that trap. You just got to do what you got to do. You got to play your game. I think the Knicks are there. I think the Knicks are there. I wish they could play Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals and not in the second round. I think that's the only reason the Knicks are considered a second round exit team. It's because they're playing Boston. They're going to play Boston in the second round. That's the only reason. Only reason. I don't think Cleveland is that much better than the Knicks. And as crazy as it sounds, and you can call me a homer or whatever you want, I don't think Cleveland is head and shoulders above the Knicks. I don't. I think come playoff time, Darius Garland, who averages 15 points a game in the playoffs, he's never been good in the playoffs. I was at game 3 when they played. Garland pooped himself. He pooped himself. He wanted nothing to do with that stage. Mobley's never done it in the playoffs. Even Mitchell. I mean, Mitchell goes off. He scored. I think he averages like 35 points a game in the playoffs. But when has he ever won anything? Never. So I think Cleveland's interesting. I think they'll make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think they will because really, right now they're playing who? Chicago, maybe Orlando, maybe. They're not going to lose that. Then they're playing the Pacers or Milwaukee. No, not going to lose to any of those teams. So I think they're going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. But all right, cool. Um, I think that covers it. So I'm gonna get on out of here. I'll probably come back with a video maybe in a couple days about the minutes, and we'll go from there. So everyone have a good night, and talk to you soon.